It's Chris Hussein here back from CNH Smallens for another informative video. This one deals solely with outdoor power equipment with a subcategory of the handheld equipment here. What I have in front of me here is a POS RYOBI hedge clipper right here, and the problem is the customer called me up here and needed to have a new throttle cable installed on here, and he said that was the only problem with it here. And we ordered a new cable on here, and we found out that whenever he brought the machine over, he also disassembled part of the machine, and he said his springs went flying and everything else and stuff like that. And we had to reassemble the whole handle assembly here. Plus, whenever we attempted to put a new throttle cable assembly in here, the throttle cable includes your 2 kill wires, because on this specific model right here, I don't know if it's the same on the other RYOBI'S out there, they have the kill wire that goes down behind the carburetor and down up underneath the shroud here, and the only way to get to that is by dismantling part of the machine here to get to it. And you got to take off the engine from the your lower drive unit on here as well too. Plus you got to separate the shroud, take all those bolts out. It took about an hour right here, and we ran into one major problem that it cost me $170 right here from my account. What happened was we put the whole thing together. We basically, rather than taking the whole thing apart on here and doing it the normal way that you take the kill wire off and put it on, we basically just put the throttle cable down inside here, and we wrapped up the old kill wire and reused it on her because there was nothing wrong with it at the time, so it saved us some time right there in labor doing that. However, whenever we restarted the machine here, it ran good for 5 or 10 minutes, and I shut it off and I started up here again the following morning, and the recoil unit wasn't rotating on your clutch assembly there. It was actually dragging on here for that, even though we didn't even touch the recoil unit or the flywheel and the your clutch mechanism right here. So we proceeded to take the thing apart again, and we got to the point where the clutch had to come off on here, and there's only one way they come off, and you have to have a specialized tool specifically for these machines, and we have it over here. It has 2 little tits, basically you stick right down inside here and you crank it counterclockwise to remove the flywheel, and that's what happened right here. The problem we ran into, I keep on saying the flywheel, the clutch assembly would not come apart. I put nut buster on, I heated up a little bit around the outside edge right here. We let it soak for about 2 hours with nut buster, try to heat it up again. The thing would not budge whatsoever on here, so I put the specialized tool down inside there, and I put my impact gun on it because it would not come off the normal way, because in my manuals it says it only take me 15-20 pounds to break the thing loose on the thread part where it makes the crankshaft's end on here for that. And this one basically snapped right in half on me over here, and it still does not want to come off. It looks like somebody either screwed it up at the factory on here and did not put together. Either it had burrs on the threads on the crankshaft itself, or had something damaged with a maybe a defective part on the actual clutch assembly itself. But that's one of the problems that we run into over here with these lower quality machines, and from this point on, I'm no longer working on RYOBI at all myself because I'm thoroughly disgusted, and it was basically causing me fits over here a couple of days ago, and I'm no longer working on RYOBI because of these problems with this specific machine. And because of that, I gotta buy a guy another machine, because he did not mention anything about having any issues with the recoil unit on here, even though it started up fine for me for around 5 minutes, shut it off, and anything else. The second time I started up, because I always like testing the machine out maybe 2 or 3 times before I get it back to the customer, so I don't want them to call me back and saying what the frick's going on my machine here. And we tested it out, and the thing just would not pull out, and either there's something damaged on the flywheel, like the dogs aren't engaging with the flywheel itself with the recoil unit, because these recoil units used, they're all plastic down inside, and if one part gets worn or stripped out or damaged down there, it might just not see. You can see right there the flywheel is spinning over down inside her. However, the clutch mechanism is not even turned on her for that. and that has a turn the whole time while the recoil unit is pulling out at the same time for that, but it's not working properly. And it caused one hell of a bugaboo for me right here for that, and I'm going to buy a new customer new machine here because of that issue, because I damaged the clutch mechanism. This is the first time this has ever happened in 8 years over here. Never had a problem like this ever, because these clutches usually pop off with minimal effort, because they put a little bit of Loctite down inside there to keep the thing from loosening up on her for that. And on this one, it looked like either it has burrs on the crankshaft itself, or the part is defective somehow, because we put an impact gun on here with a 300-pound rating on it, and the thing still did not want to come off, and these things should break loose in about 10 or 15 pounds of torque being put on them for that. And this is a lesson that I tell everybody else out there: do not buy Ryobi machines, and do not work on Ryobi machines, because they are, in my opinion, a throwaway machine. This machine's designation, let me see if I can get it over here for you guys. Let me see here. It's a ZR or something, I think. Let me see, it's on the other damn side over here. There we go. It is a, here we go, RY39505, manufacture date 2012. And they have quite a few variations of these ones out there, but they're all basically the same. And I personally do not recommend these to anybody from this point on, because as of right now, I'm never touching another Ryobi machine in my life because of this problem. Because these machines, you can tell the lower end to the higher end machines, like you got a STIHL or a HUSQVARNA or an Echo. Usually on those higher end machines, your recoil unit is at the back of the machine. Problem is, this one, the recoil unit's jammed between the housing of the engine and the actual head part clipper mechanism down as well. And the higher end machines have the recoil unit up on top of the machine, or they have it, if you have a string turner, the recoil unit's on the back end of the machine as well too for that. And because of that, the higher end machines are actually easier to work on, even though they cost more up front to purchase. Where the lower end ones like these, they cost more to repair and service, because they're not meant to be really taken apart. They're only like a one-time shot deal where they reassemble them, they assemble at the factory, and they're not meant to be worked on hardly ever, if all, for that right there for that. So that's one man's opinion right there. I personally give Ryobi 2 thumbs down because of their quality control issues and the overall quality with them as well too. And from this point on, I've never touched another Ryobi myself. So that's my personal opinion. You yourself might have never had a problem with Ryobi's, but from my experience, they cost a lot more to service and repair because of the labor and anything else involved in their low quality out there for that. So anybody has any questions, comments, whatnot about something like this here, and what to steer clear for out there in the market, just give me a heads up here. Just leave me a message on my page here, and I'll try to answer any questions of what might be a good model to purchase out there for that, because we receive quite a few people who come over who have like professional equipment, and they always ask me for their opinions on what to buy next out there for that. And some of the better brands out there like Echo, HUSQVARNA, and STIHL, I personally recommend. I basically recommend Echo first, and HUSQVARNA, then STIHL, even though STIHL's probably the best out there, because STIHL's really shitty about the way they keep their IPLs and all their service manual stuff's under wraps out there for that, and they don't like to share information and all out there for that, where Echo and HUSQVARNA are pretty open about getting parts and IPLs and stuff like that, and it makes independent guys like me a lot more able to do jobs right from the get-go for that. So anybody has any questions, again, just leave me a message on my page here, or leave me a comment below on the video thing as well too, and I'll try to get try to get an answer back to you as soon as I possibly can. I'll see you guys.